Okay, I'm gonna get ready to make this dish for you guys. I'm gonna give you a snapshot of all the ingredients that I put into it. I got the two chayotes right here, and I got a couple cloves of garlic. I got my onion. I already started dicing my onion, my tomato, my yellow chilies, some bell peppers, two of them, medium. Got your zucchini, and of course you gotta have some cilantro, right? Love that cilantro. Gives a nice little flavor. And I'll show you how much to put. You don't have to put the whole bundle in there or nothing. Just put a couple strains of it, and it's perfect, you know. And then you got some pepper, you got some bouillon, chicken bouillon, and then salt, and then of course a can of corn. Remember I told you guys about a can of corn, and then pato sauce. And then we have a pound and a half of turkey ground meat, and this is what it looks like, you know. And I usually buy 2 packs and I'll split them in half because usually that's the dish that we make. All right, so I'm gonna start putting it together, and I'll take some pictures as I go along, so you guys can see the progress. And it works pretty good. You guys will like it. So first thing I do is I put my pan on medium heat, and then I put a little oil just to coat the bottom, and then next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to throw the meat in there. So the first thing I do is I brown the meat, and I lightly brown it just to make sure that it's cooked all the way. All right, so I'm going to go to that. Just remember, this is olive oil. We don't use vegetable oil. We use olive oil. My daughter uses a little vegetable oil for some of the stuff that she makes for the girls, but I try to use olive oil, and I'll show you. Just buy whatever's available at the store, as long as it's olive oil. So what I'll do right now is I'll go ahead and put a little bit of salt, a little bit of seasoning, just to keep some flavor. Try to minimize it since we're trying to make this a nice healthy dish. So I put a little bit of Laurie's seasoned salt, and then just a little bit of salt. Not too much. And then I'll let it brown. Okay, and then what I do after is I'll take it out, and then I'll start doing the tomato and the onions, and then I just start incorporating. I'll film it as I go. Okay. I'll be back. One thing I do try to do is I try to break it up so it kind of spreads throughout the whole. Make sure I don't have like really big chunks of it. So that's our preference. You could do it any way you want to, but that's kind of our preference. So I let this brown up, and then any residual oil that's left, I'll take it out. I don't like using that extra oil. It's not bad for you, but I prefer not to. So there it is. There's some. I pretty much browned it. But see, there's some of the juice that the turkey, ground turkey, releases, and I try not to use that. I just go ahead and dump it out. I'll put it in a cup or something, and then toss it away later on. All right. So I'm getting ready to pull it out. So there it is. It's all browned up right there. And, I'm going to go ahead and take it out, put it in a plate, and then I'll start doing the onions and the tomato. So stand by. So the next thing I do is I'm going to, brown the onions a little bit, just so, and the garlic, you see the garlic on top. And then just brown them a little bit. There's some oil left over from the meat. So on a medium fire, I just brown them, and then once they're brown, and I see that they're there, I'll throw the tomatoes in there, and then I start gradually, adding everything, and I'll walk you through it, okay? So you're starting to get a little transparent on the onions and the garlic. You could smell the garlic. The garlic flavor is really coming out, So So now what I do is I add the tomatoes and I let them stew in there for a little bit. Just get them cooked up a little bit. Let them release some of their flavor. So what I do is I turn the fire down a little bit so I could cook down the tomatoes just a little bit, and I'll put the lid. And while I'm doing that, while I'm cooking the tomatoes, what I'll do is I'll cut up the bell pepper and stuff. Okay, this is the chayote. This is how I dice it up. I cut them into these round medallions here, and then I just slice them and dice them and make little cubes. And same thing with the green bell pepper, and just dice it up the same way. And this is two medium ones. You know, I just took the best part out of them and diced them up and got them looking really good. And then we'll do the same thing to the zucchini. And when we're done with that, we'll put them all together. I'll put the zucchini in last because it cooks fast. Okay, here the onions look like they're almost done. We got the tomato infused, and it's looking really good. I'm gonna turn it down a little bit. I'm gonna start bringing the meat in, but I got it just where I like it. This is exactly where I like it. So here comes the meat. We'll mix that all in, break it up really nice and good. I like it really broken up so it kind of spreads throughout the whole dish. You know, once I get everything in there. You can make this in a different pot if you like. You don't have to use a saucepan like this. You could probably use a stock pan if you like. That would work also. I just gotten used to doing it in this pan, and that's why we use this one all the time. But it works out really good, and looks like we're getting ready here to put some water. Uh, we're almost there. Just trying to get it all blended in really nice, and then we should be ready to put some water here pretty soon. Okay, we're probably gonna put water to this line right here, and then we'll also add the can of pato sauce. Okay, just prepping for the water here, and you can see I already added one cup, and I'm gonna add another one. I'm trying to get to the bottom of these two markers here, and that's plenty right there. Got it just right. I might have a little bit too much, but here comes also the pato sauce. I put a whole can of pato sauce in there. My wife, we were at the flea market the other day, and she bought one of those old-fashioned can openers. So I got to use it today. I think we bought it on Sunday. Pretty cool. I almost forgot about those. You know, we all have can openers now, and that's kind of a pretty cool thing. I forgot about those. It makes it real easy. You don't have to open up every can. So here you go. You mix it up really good, and the bell pepper. So let's just start by adding the chayote now, and then mix it in really well. Look at how good it looks. I like the way it looks. It just has a beautiful look to it, you know, um, and blends in real well, and it just gives it good flavor, like good basis. So let's blend it in. I'm gonna blend it in here a little bit, and then we'll get ready for the bell pepper. Look at how nice it looks like it belongs in there, right? So, you can't go wrong by adding it. Let's do the bell pepper now. I like to add these two a little bit earlier, like about, I want to say at least 10, 15 minutes. And then once I let them go for 10, 15 minutes, then I cover it up and I let it simmer for another 15, 20 minutes, somewhere in between there. Just once they start looking a little translucent and like they're cooked, we're good. So let's add the bouillon, chicken bouillon. It gives it a little bit of flavor. We'll do 2 teaspoons. I try not to do more than 2 teaspoons. It's a little rich, so I want to make sure that we don't add too much. So I keep it down to 2 teaspoons. I want to keep this as healthy as possible. And then, of course, my wife, she really loves pepper, so this is where I'm doing her service. Make sure that she gets what she likes. As long as she can see that pepper in there, I'm good. I already let it go for about 10 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes. And now I'm gonna put the green chilies, the yellow chilies that I told you about. I cleaned them up. I put some slits in them, and what it does, it releases the flavor with the boiling action that's going on. So I did two of them this time. Hopefully my son-in-law don't get upset, but I'm gonna have to burn them out a little bit. We really love these chilies in there, and it's not really burning, you know. So now I'm gonna add the zucchini, and then we'll let it simmer for about 10-15 minutes, I want to say, until they start looking a little translucent. Once they start looking a little translucent, then you know that you're there. And do it on low fire. This fire under this pan right here is really big, so I got to take it all the way down. I had to remove some stock. I over was filling the pan, so I had to remove some stock, and I save it. And then what I do is when we start taking some out, because we really like the soup, um, I'll put it back in and let it boil for a little bit longer, just so it could infuse with the rest of the pot, the stock. It looks pretty good. So we're pretty close to the end. I'm not sure what's going on with the video here, but I'm gonna add the corn. I don't know where this wavy. I don't know if the heat is affecting the camera or what. But I added the corn. I'm almost done here. And then after I add the corn, remember I already let it go for about you know 10 minutes. And then I'm gonna add the cilantro. I add about 6, 7 little strings, and then just embed it in the whole stock. And then basically at this point, I'm just gonna just you know let it simmer for about 15 minutes, 10-15 minutes, and that should give us a nice base. But sorry about the ending on the video.